Hello and good afternoon. It's the 4th of January 2023. I'm doing another video here. I'm actually starting off on a busy street. This is a road called Rutland Road in Sheffield 3. So it's an S3 postcode. And I'm actually come to show you something slightly unusual. You'll have to forgive the moving about and the noise because it is actually quite a windy day. But the place I've come to show you is on my left. It's known as Parkwood Springs, and this is just a little bit of a view of the city from here. I hope that shines through because it is an amazing view. So the first thing that I do want to show you is that thing there, if you can see that, but we are going to go right up to it. It's a sculpture in a spot called Parkwood Springs, which is the area we're going to walk in, because unofficially there's a part in there that's known as Sheffield Point, and you'll see why when we get there. So first things first, I'm going to take a step inwards to Parkwood Springs, which is like a small country park. Sorry, ambulance, emergency services. Okay, been and gone. So we're going to go up that way, but first of all, have a look at that. Sheffield Council access land. It's public land, we're able to walk through, and it's for people to walk round. And as I said, the place is called Parkwood Springs, and this gives you an idea of the place and the size and what it is. So okay, let me take you over, and like I said, apologies for the noise of the traffic. It's actually opposite a very busy road and in a busy area of town. So we're coming up to this place. The sculpture is called Boy and Bird, and as you can see, you've got this huge sculpture of a kestrel, as we understand it, and a little boy on it with gloves on. And it must have been done in iron for it to rust the way it has and have the distinctive coloration that it's got. I'm going to get you some information on it because it's quite an interesting little thing. I think it was done in 2008, but I shall find out for you. Here we go. Okay, so it's on Rutland Road. I'm going to try and go behind it as well, just so you can get a good view of this thing. There we go. If I just step up here, you can get a view of it's not small at all. I'm 3 inches off 6 feet in height, and I come up to just the underbelly of this kestrel. So I'm just going to pan back and show you it again. There you go, a little bit of sunshine on there, looks quite nice, doesn't it? So I am 3 inches under 6 foot, and I come up to about that bit of it there. Got a little pointer, daft as it sounds. Okay, so this is called the Boy and Bird, and it was done by a chap called Jason Thompson. We're going to walk a bit as we do this actually. Jason Thompson was the sculptor who was commissioned to do that, and as you saw, it's a figure of a boy with a bird on the back of a bird. It's a small boy and a large kestrel. Now, we're thinking that the reason why it was a kestrel is because in this park there were at that time kestrel nests. So this is 2008 we're talking about, and there were nests of kestrels in this little area that you've just seen, that is Parkwood Springs Country Park, which is what it's known as. And on the back of the bird, you've got that young lad, as you saw. What was unusual about him is that his gloves were huge. And this is an idea of the boundary, just really quick. You've got a business there next door. Rutland Road business, getting on with things. And then on this side, woodland. It's just quite amazing. It's a bright day, but it's a cold day. It's January. It's never warm in England in January. That's the thing I can tell you for definite. So we're going to go up here. Oh yeah, the gloves. He's wearing these big gloves. I think what that was to signify was the heritage of Sheffield. Sheffield has a heritage of steel. It's Steel City. And those sorts of gloves were the kind of gloves that the workmen wore when they were working in Sheffield, in the big mills, the steel mills. That's what that was for. So this is the traffic is still as consistent as it was. You just can't hear it anymore. That's quite nice, isn't it? It's like a fairy ring. See, there's businesses there, and the roadway, as you can see, there's housing over that way. Just in the background, you've got like the big flats, and in the foreground, you've got some houses just there. But by the time you get here, all you can hear is the trees. It's the rustle of the trees, which is amazing. The sound you can hear is the wind going through the trees. So here we are, walking up, and the thing that's interesting about this place is that it is smack bang in the middle of the town. There's suburbs on one side, which is not far from where I live, and it's the city centre on the other. As you go down this main road, it's an arterial road into the city centre, in and out actually. The ambulance that you saw was coming out. That would lead you to the next hospital basically, and the hospital's about 1.5 miles in one direction. The other hospital's 3 or 4 miles in the other. That. It's quite nice, isn't it? God. You wouldn't think you're in the middle of a city. You wouldn't think it at all. It's amazing, because on a spring day it's all green. On a late spring day it's full of flowers. And today it's bare wood. And that's the way I've just come down from. And you might even hear some birds and things as well. Okay, let's keep going. As you can see, yet again, uphill. These things are always designed, that looks nice, doesn't it, against the skyline? These things are always designed to make me puff and pant. Well, it's exercise, I suppose. So yeah, here we go. I'm not going to go straight up that hill. I'm going to go round on this way, because this is again, beautiful wooded area. Some nice beech trees. That's that one there. I think that's a beech tree. Right there. Yep, that one. Beech tree. I don't know much about trees, but I know some of them. And you always know with the white bark which the beech trees are. And apparently trees always grow like this, slim and tall, when they're paced or placed close together, which they must have been. I wonder if you can see the wind going through the tops of those trees. It may be very windy where we're heading. You may or may not be able to hear me, but I think it's worth it for the view, to be honest. Not much up there. A bit more hillside. Let's keep going. Just a stroll on a country lane. But you can just make out through the trees buildings just over there. So let's keep going. Let's have a look, see where we are. Yep, just going round the corner. More travelling to do. That's a good view of the hill, isn't it? Look at that. This is why I came up on a sunny day, actually. Actually, this is quite a well-known track for mountain bikes and BMXs. And people that like to cycle cross-country, because there's plenty of hills here and some bumps and grumps and things, so people can jump up and down and do the tricks and negotiate them. Okay, so, and it's popular, obviously not today because it's the first day of school, so teenagers are back. So that's all of that, but let me just point you in this direction. This is where it starts to open out and it becomes a whole different proposition. You see that? You've got the valley of Sheffield there. Let's keep going. Oh, puddle. Let's keep out of that if I can. I've got my decent shoes on, thankfully. There we go. I put them on because I thought I'd probably get wet or squelched. Look at that. Loose rock face beyond this point. Let's see if we can find that rock face as well. We'll have a nosy. Here we go, look. Let's keep going, shall we? You can see why I brought you here. You can actually see the entire town. This is what Sheffield Point is about. Or as it's unofficially called, Sheffield Point. So, I think the whole loose rocks thing is this. Just on the ground, you see my shadow go through there. Just on the ground there, lots of rocks and things. And over there. These are all bike trails. What's that little sign say? Let's have a look. Crossing point ahead. That must be for the bikers. That must be for the BMXers and the cross-country bicycle riders. Here we go. That's something to see, I think. I'm going to try and point 1 or 2 points out to you if I can, once I get a little bit further up. It just gets more and more impressive, to be honest. And that's the distance I came from. You might just, right in the background, be able to see the windmills just there. Possibly. I don't know how noisy it's going to be on here, which is why I'm talking louder than normal, in order for you to possibly hear me. Because once we get exposed area and wind like this, it tends to get a bit difficult to hear. So I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit, just so that we can get to see Sheffield Point. I might actually only go as far as this, because you can see a good view of the valley here. Not much further up, to be honest. I'm in danger of losing my hat. I have to put it on backwards. Okay. There have been people who've lived here once or twice. And people sort of in modern times, not ancient times or anything. Just when it's been difficult for people to find homes to live in, they've ended up in the middle of these trees. A little camping tent. So yeah, it is very noisy. We may not get much to see, but we'll certainly try. There are sections that have been fenced off as well. Let's Let's keep going. Whew. Alternate venue there. Let's keep going up the hill. I've been up here in summer and I've been up here in spring, and some of these trees are flowering trees, so they look amazing. But right now we've just got winterscape, January. Some of them obviously have leaves all round year, and some of them don't. Evergreens they call them, don't they? So I'm setting my pace a little bit brisker, just to see if I can get myself over to the point I want to get to, which, great view, but it's likely to be really noisy for the wind. But let's see how we go on. Something odd up here. I don't know what it is, but it looks like a bit of a building. In fact, this looks like a ski village. Look at that. Sheffield had a ski slope for some years, and I think this is where it used to be. That is definitely a ski slope. Yes, it is. This is the ski slope. All the way down. It used to do and worked really well, but it fell into disuse. I think the building burnt down as much as the things that have obviously been burnt over here. That must have been a resort village maybe. And it's now gone. That explains what that is. There's another slope here. That's the stuff it's made from. But there's like a fire risk. This is the bit that caught fire, look. I don't know how many years ago it was, but the ski village did catch fire, and it still damaged the trees to this day, and it was a number of years ago. That area over there is Hillsborough that you can see in the background there. That area towards that side there is the university and accommodation buildings and things like that, and also the one of the hospitals over there as well. Let's keep going. Not long left to go on this one. It is a difficult day, and as you can see, the clouds are coming towards us quite quickly. Dark, threatening clouds. They may pass us entirely, but knowing my luck, it will tip down with rain on me. But let's keep going. Here we go. This is why I wore the trainers that I did. It's quite muddy, isn't it? Well, that explains all of this. All of the fencing and stuff, and all the bits that were fenced off. And no doubt that's part of the ski village as well, or possibly another track. But this is the main track here. We'll carry on. I've just rejoined it. Carry on going. So it's hard to believe that actually this is we're not in a country park miles away from anywhere, because if I show you this side to the right here now, see that over there through the trees? That's a school playing field. It tells you how small it is. But they've just got this slice of wildlife that people can come in and partake of in the middle of their own city. And marked it with that interesting sculpture. Bird and Boy. Jason, who did that. It's good. It takes some talent to do something like that, metal. But then it's a town in which you can do it. Almost there. Almost there. Let's have a look. A bit more distance over there. Water tower. Looks like some sort of power plant or water plant over there actually. Might be a water treatment plant. See, all of these channels are actually for the bikers. Well, these guys on their little mountain bikes and the BMXs go off-roading on here. Relatively safe. Completely deserted today, which is good. And there we have it. Right. Let's have a look. all of the sound you can hear, it almost sounds like an aeroplane in the distance. It's the wind through the trees. Amazing. It almost looks like a venue where you could do a film. You know, like a Lord of the Rings or something of that nature. Look at that for a tree. Right, let's keep going. Not far to go. We're almost at the point that I want to show you. We'll have a look at that place and see how it's looking, because it should open out now into a wider open space, and as a result obviously it may get louder again with the wind not having the obstruction of the trees. So this is the last stretch of the bit that I want to show you. Here we go. So in the distance you should be able to see these poles, and this is the bit that strikes me as a bit odd, because it almost looks like there was a bandstand here, or they were planning an observatory or something of that nature, because you can guarantee at night there would have been little to no light pollution at this altitude. Also, mobile phone masts have to be spotted. They need them, don't they? We all need them these days, technology being as it is. Here we go. Magpies, I thought, I'm like, what's he doing? So this is the point I wanted to show you. This is the point they call Sheffield Point. And in the background I'm sure you can see why. But it's really quite odd. You can see the design of it. It's almost like, it reminds me of the Indian castles, you know, or the Arab ones, the Alhambras, which is the domes. But that's all it is. There's nothing else here as such, except for the fact that there's a little bit of almost sculpture, I think, where you see the hands just here. They look like hands that have come out of an armchair of some sort. Here we are, it's hexagonal. There might have been something here at some point. You know, like a monument or something like that. Might well have been something like that here. So, okay. I'm going to start from there. You can see the landscape. So by the time you get to there, I'm pretty sure that's the way. Let's just go away. There's quite a lot really in terms of the view. You get to see quite a lot of the city. I think I was telling you at one point where Sheffield is. Sheffield City was built on 7 hills. Sheffield people are very proud of that. It's like Rome has its 7 hills, and so do we. Steel town, and it's quite the point of pride. This is not one of the highest points of the city by a long stretch. It's literally just a hill. You can actually see the valley as we see on the other side of the hills. It still looks phenomenal. Not even sure what that big building is. Might be the college, you know, Hillsborough College is around there. In fact, if you look straight down, I've got a feeling, I've got a feeling that if you look straight down there, that's actually an old army barracks, and there's offices and there's a large parade ground in the middle. But what they did was, it's all enclosed as well, as you saw. I don't know how well it looked on there, to be honest. It's all enclosed, but actually it was bought by a large supermarket chain. Excuse me, it's bought by a large supermarket chain, and it was known as the barracks as their ground. something else here as well. This is why I thought observatory, because it's hexagonal. Look at that. Maybe octagonal actually. I'm just going to hold on here for a second. I've got some people that are coming through. I'll just let them get through. Have a quick look through here while they're walking. There we go. My town, guys. Well, my city, I suppose. Been here now since 2009, so I suppose I'm settled in enough not to be a stranger to the place. Muddy puddles again. It looks like a stone road really as well, you know. Old one. It may well have been, look. See the big pieces there? And I suspect it's a sort of early Victorian. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm almost at the end here actually, guys. I just wanted to take you over because it just shows that this place, amazing though it may be, which to me it is, it's not far away, amazing though it is smack bang in the middle of a town. That is a football field. And then as we go over, we actually end up, believe it or not, back in the city itself. And you'll see what I mean any minute now, hopefully, if I'm quick enough. Squelchy squelch. Looks like a bit of a racetrack, doesn't it? Ah no, it's the back of the football ground, or the football pitch. So here I am. It gives you more of the city. I think down there's a quarry, you know. Or they're either building stuff or dumping stuff, or it's just something of a quarry, because they seem to be clearing an area, don't they? That's more clear than it used to be. Look at the brickwork there. That's big brick, it's big stone. And then there's the city itself. And the skyscape. 360, there you go, football field. From the back. Almost there. And so we come off this bit, start walking down, and we end up at the back of a housing estate. That's the thing that's really strange. At the back of somebody's house, you've got this open space, which, alright, I mean, winter time was noisy and all the rest of it, and I apologise for all the wind. But housing, somebody's house. I think that's the bit that marks it off as being no longer the Parkwood Springs area. I'm sure there's more to see, but this is as much as I know of it. It's not very wide actually. We've come through the busiest part of it. Now these branches are literally my head high. I'm having to duck a bit to stop myself getting smacked in the head with a branch. And it's a bit squelchy underfoot, as you can hear. You may be able to hear me tramping down. It's a good thing I've got these trainers on, these hiking ones, because otherwise I don't know where it'd be. Quite possibly on the ground. Thankfully I'm wearing a warm coat as well, so that's good. So there you go, fence of a house, and there you go, open space, wide open space. That's quite rutted. You can see there's bikes that have gone through here as well. It's deep though. That's deep as well. Having some fun now. This is the point where I'm sure I'm going to go over, end up sliding down or being covered in mud and looking like a zombie of the woods or something. That would be fun. Oh, almost there. More housing. So you come to the end of it, and suddenly you're on a street, and that's just really, it's just the contrast of it is so strong. It's like, what? There you go, steps. As you can see, there's more to see in that direction, but I'm not entirely sure what there is. It's probably just a little bit of a path away down, but when you go this way, we're back on the street, and it's literally next door to somebody's garden. It almost feels like a small cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac being a road that isn't a through road, of course. So I'm just How quiet is that now? Look at that. Can't hear anything. Comparatively, totally quiet. Just going to change hands here. Here we go. Sorry, it's a bit shaky. There we go. Almost done. Not really going to show you much of the housing. Don't really want to invade on other people's privacy. I just want to get to, apart from the street down there as well. They call this new build. This is stuff that's designed and built to look quite nice, but it's definitely designed in a modern way, and some attempt has been made by architects to have it looking similar to what used to be here historically. So the older houses and the Victorian houses and what have you, it's supposed to be similar to that. So we're approaching a main road here, and I think that's where I want to stop it, because I started on a main road. I may as well stop on a main road. And this is the bit that finishes off as I come down. As you can see, it's a 30 to give way. That guy's reversing. Maybe you thought, oh, don't want to be on film. Well, it's a public place. You don't want to be. On you go. Shirecliff Road, there you go. Main arterial road through the town. Yet another major road. But as I said, I started on a main road. This one's not as busy as Rutland, as you can tell. I started on a main road. I may as well finish on a main road. And that's one side. Tesco. And that's the other side. I'm actually going to be going in this direction. So what I think I'll do is I'll sign off here, and I hope that's come through well. I'm not entirely sure if it has, but we'll find out when I post it. I'll pop it up, and by all means have a look. I hope you've enjoyed it and not got too bored. I know there wasn't much to see except the view, which can be a bit difficult to catch, I suppose. I just wanted to show you what people call Sheffield Point. It was quite an interesting spot, and the fact that it's in the middle of the town. It's not on the outskirts. It's not miles away. It's not greenery out of the way. You can go from one side, which is a road, to the other side, which is a road, down to the bottom bit, which is, excuse me, industrial, just on the outskirts of town, and then into the town centre. So it's all quite strange, really. Okay, just getting to the hill, and then I think I will call it a draw. There was an entrance from this side. I came from what you might call the bottom, because I was walking uphill most of the time, but you can actually go in through the middle as well, and that's the way that most people walk through, because that's the way to get to the football pitches, and I think that quite a lot of the local teams use them. You know, the small teams that use them, or if you friends want to play football on a Sunday morning on the super amateur leagues. That's what you've got there. Oh, look at that. Now that's a bit of history for you. Red post box. If you look at the bottom there, it says Post Office E2R. Post Office E2R. And it says the last collection. Now, E2R is Elizabeth Regina, as in reign of Elizabeth II. That's what the 2 was for. That's history now, because bless her, she's passed and she's gone. It's quite nice. Bit of a country house thing going on. We now have, I don't think we'll get more post boxes, because they seem to be less and less in use, but we probably get a C3R. That'd be interesting. In fact, for any Star Wars fans, the Royal Post Office is now C3PO. Thought that would tickle you. It tickled me when I first heard it. Okay guys, as you can see, just coming down the road here. I'll stop it here, just at these nice gates, shall I? And we'll call it a day. So as per usual, if you liked it, by all means, let me know. If you didn't like it, also let me know. And I'll bid you good day. If you liked it, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll see you on another one. Thank you. Bye now.